Hey, how you doing, everybody? How you doing tonight, Scott?
I am doing just fine. How are you?
Good, doing real good. Hey, everybody, welcome. JD here's episode 2, 701 Nation. Got my guest tonight, Scott Bachmeir from Dakota Prairie Outdoors. And tonight, Scott, we're going to be talking about my favorite cartridge, buddy. The 223 is it America's cartridge. And I've had people debating me on the phone all day after seeing some stuff we put up, but we're gonna we're gonna hit on that a little bit. Scott said he's a little wore out tonight, so we're waiting for that energy to pump up on him.
I went and got myself an energy drink. So
Love it.
it's better than Monster, I guess. So right,
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is way more healthy for you. I mean, I'm not even kidding around saying, I got the Coors Light, so that's from the Rockies, the Rocky Mountains. But and first of all, I like to say we got us a new sponsor, along with our sponsor, LAUER Auto Repair. We got Double H Guns now got on board with us. Talked to Daryl down there, so we're gonna have some commercials here. Mike Deacons put it together for us, and it's a good commercial. He actually remastered the LAUER Auto Repair one as well. So when it comes to commercial time, we're gonna hit that. Again, appreciate Double H Guns and especially LAUER Auto has been with us since the beginning of this sucker, and he ain't going anywhere. So. All right, Scott. So let's do a little. I'm not going to get too geeked out on the history of the 223 because we got plenty of other stuff we can talk about, and we will get to talking about. There's no denying military cartridge kind of has the influence on civilian rifles and ammunition, right? Which is a big part of it. But big
always has been. Yeah. I mean, look back at the 30-06. Right?
Yep, 30-06, 45-70. 7.62 by 5.1, otherwise known as the legendary 308.
Legendary
308. And which actually, Scott, before I get a little farther in this, they actually once this was in the military trials, they were doing this. They tested the 223. They were doing accuracy. I can't remember how many rounds they shot, but between, I think at the time it was the M855 ball against the T44, I think the 308 was called in the Full Metal Jacket, and the guy shooting the 223, no surprise, right? Smaller caliber, less recoil. They big time outshot the guys with the 30 cal, and that was one of the things that they used to make it officially in 1963, the official Army cartridge there. But it was actually, and Gene, our buddy Gene, Mayor Mobridge. It was a 222, which that was invented in 1950, right? But they had two things that couldn't do that they made them alter this cartridge because the 222 was the parent to the 223. It had to be supersonic at 500 yards, which the old triple deuce was not, and this is kind of weird, but it had to pierce one side of a U.S. Army soldier helmet at 500 yards.
Okay.
Which kind of surprised me that a 222 wouldn't do that. I have a 222 right over there in my closet. It's the first rifle I ever killed a deer with. But that wouldn't do it. So they took that cartridge and changed the neck angle on it, and they shortened the case neck or the shoulder. They changed the shoulder angle, shortened the case neck, put more powder in. Voila, we got the 223, right? And a lot of people, Scott, they still go back to like Vietnam, right? It jammed up. I mean, more and less with the AR, right?
Right.
And it wasn't that accurate, which they had like a 1 in 14 twist in these rifles when they officially adopted the 223 in 1963 for the military. And that was, like I said, the M855 or M193, I think. No, that was 193 is a 62 grain. M155, I think. Let me get the chats up. But anyway, that sucker wasn't stabilized very good, and so they had to change the twist on that, but then it zipped through people, right? And then eventually they had to go with the heavier grain bullet with that. But 63 was pretty much adopted by both of them. Civilian market 223 Remington, and it's been going skyrocketing since then. Still, Scott, the number one selling center fire rifle cartridge in America is the 223, right?
Well, it's just an all-around great one, whether you're getting somebody into shooting or if you're still like me. I mean, I carry one with me. I have one in my Ranger all the time, all summer long.
Yep.
And I mean, it's just a good, quick, some people call it a jack handle. I've had people tell me that.
Yeah.
but my jack handle's taken a lot of animals, whether it's prairie dogs, coyotes, and I've even shot a deer with a 223. So I mean, yeah, I have nothing against it. I mean, some of these people are really, they're like, well, you might as well buy a 308 so you can do something with. I can do
And
something with 223.
and I don't have anything. Obviously, I don't have anything against the 308. But as I just even said previously, the guys with the 223 and the AR were out shooting the hell out of the guys with the M14s and the 308 or 7.62 by 5.1. It's a 308. Let's get that out of the way real quick. The difference, because maybe some people don't know. 223, the military calls it 5.56 NATO, 7.62 by 5. It's the throat length, right? The throat length. It can take, the military round can take more pressure. They did that because so you get a little more pressure in there to get that bullet going at. Because I think the 55 grainer they wanted ended up, it had to go 3,250 feet per second out of a 20-inch barrel. And the Remington 223, I guess, didn't cut it, so they made it a little more for the military. Some people say, there you go, Danelle, 223, God's cartridge. It is. It's God's cartridge and America's cartridge. We're gonna hit that. But yeah, the difference is to cut through all this other mumbo jumbo. They say you can shoot, the 223 in the 5.56, but don't shoot 5.56. And I know guys who build guns, Scott, that say that's complete bullshit.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like that's old rifles. And old rifles, they'll tell you, like, if this thing was built in like 1970 or something, yeah, but like a modern AR or whatever, your Tika or Remington that you go buy now, or your Ruger, that's a 223. That
They're just built better now. I mean, back then they probably didn't have the technology like they do now.
Yep.
And I'm telling you, the twist in the barrel makes a big difference, even down to the smallest of calibers. But the 223, that's one thing, you got to get the right twist depending on which grain you're going to be shooting out of this.
Yep, you're right. And like I said, the military started out with the whole wrong one, which it actually
big time.
Yeah, and the bullet would tumble. It actually did more damage, right? Like I said, and then when they changed it, and it it was just poking little holes through people, because then the thing was to stabilize the bullet and it was going nice and straight. But at long range accuracy, the tumbling, the guys up in the military didn't want that. Plenty of guys who are in combat, Scott, and I have friends and relatives as well who were, and honestly, they don't really bitch about the 223 when they were in Iraq.
Not at all. I have a good friend of mine is a mechanic, and I mean, he's got a Purple Heart. He's seen some pretty hard time and everything, and he said the same thing. He's like, give me a 223. He says, I know where to go. I can shoot that. He says, I'll drop any deer anywhere.
Yeah.
And, that's what he uses. He's comfortable with it. And he uses the AR platform for hunting. And why wouldn't you? I mean, he spent 4 or 5 years like trying to save his life and his platoon's life. You probably know that rifle pretty well by now.
I mean, if it's good enough to save your own ass in combat, it sure is hell good enough. And it has limitations, which we're going to get into shortly. We're just kind of giving a little history here, Scott, and then we'll get into the meats, the what do you want to call it? The meat of the art of what I'm saying here is why I think it's America's cartridge, or I've said it before, God's cartridge, and I think the 1-in-8's God's twist actually too, but.
1-in-8.
Yeah.
At what grain?
Any grain. That's what I like about the 1-in-8, man. It's
really?
Something will stabilize about anything. I mean, there's probably some long range guys who shoot like these 90 grain Sierras. They're like, no, I won't stabilize that. Well, okay, you might have me there, but that's at the far end of this. But all right, let's get into a few comments here, Scott, and see what.
Well, there's plenty of them coming up here.
Yeah, we're getting them going. Appreciate everybody. This is awesome, man. I love it. Josh, hey, what's up, Josh? Josh, always listening. Hey, what's up, JD and Scott? He's met Josh down there, Scott, in case you didn't know. I met him down. We were in the Selfridge Prairie Dog Tournament there. Trampus, evening, Trampus. Whalen Turnus, good evening, guys. Evening, Whalen. One Shot Cap. Evening, 701 Nation. Yeah, evening to you. Brian Warner, good evening, fellow MBEs. As a matter of fact, Scott, real quick, 2 weeks from tomorrow night, I'm having Brian and his dad on. He owns the Worst Shop in Dickinson. We're going to be talking some sausage making.
Love the Worst Shop, man.
Yeah.
I love it. I love the workshop. Yeah. I sneak in there probably once every month when I go to Dickinson for some board meetings, and I sneak in there. Absolutely.
So, 2 weeks from tomorrow, it's going to be a Friday. I've never, I don't know. We do have a younger demographic as well, but hey, I'm good with Friday and February. Let's talk some sausage making on 701 Nation, right? Brandon George, hey, good. What's good tonight, y'all? Hey, Brandon. Brandon's got Bad Boys Custom Lures. Appreciate you, Brandon, tuning in. From the land of sky blue waters, where Trampus is at.
No.
Oh, you know what you're drinking, baby?
It's
Ham.
the land of the sky blue waters. That's a boy that knows his beers right there. That's good job.
All right. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, we got the big bear on there. It really sound like cartoons advertising beer, right? You probably can't even do that anymore, right, Scott?
Well, they went back to the retro cans, man.
Okay. What?
Yeah, they went back retro.
You know, the first beer I got a minor in possession on was Hams.
Good boy.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about Slope County, but if you come out here and you have a Hams, you're probably going to get access to hunt. Pretty good chance.
All right. Well, yeah. I'll tell you what. Next time I come out, I'm leaving my Coors Light at home. I'm rolling in with Hams Pounders, man.
Let's do it.
Because Hams don't even make a light, do they?
They do.
Really? Okay.
They do. Yeah.
Well, maybe I might turn into a Hams drinker. I'll have to give it a go.
Stick with the original. The light's too light.
Dan Brown, good evening, JD and Scott. You know Dan, Scott.
Absolutely.
Eric Newman, good evening. Evening, Danelle. There's your fellow MVE stopping in. See, Clay Peterson there too. All right, and Danelle. Is Clay sniping in on Danelle's account here? Or we got them both? I hope we got both Petersons tuning in. All right, here we go, Eric. My 223 is like an extra limb to me. It goes where I go, and that's pretty much what you were saying about yours, Scott. And what's that one you got? A Savage, right?
It's just a Savage. Just the base model. You know, the only thing I did different on that is I took the spring out and I cut a couple coils off the spring on the trigger, filed it down a little bit, just made it a little bit more usable.
Good triggers, man. That's in my opinion, one of the best things you can do for accuracy right there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so what do I know you're not a big group shooter like geek like I am, but what do you do when you zeroed it in, just hit 100 then and you shot like an inch and you're like, this is good to go.
With my 223, what I usually do is go 1 inch at 100 yards, 1 inch above. And then I'm good out to about 2.25 roughly on a coyote.
Mm-hmm.
And guys got to remember, coyote, if you take the fur off of a coyote, it's like shooting a loaf of bread.
Tiny. Yeah, exactly. They look big. But
So I use that for like I call it get out of the pickup really fast rifle.
Yep.
Porcupines, coons, skunks, everything. And then if I get serious and I go on like a coyote tournament, then I use a different caliber.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, I mean, I'm not going to argue. I shot your other gun, so I can't. Yeah, that thing's money. So, but all right, I got my mom in here, Paul Odegaard. I liked it 223, Go Nation. Yeah, and actually, my mom, we went out to center shooting, and my mom was shooting a DPMS 20-inch that they got at the NRA banquet years ago, and my mom was sniping shit with that. It was great.
We need to do my new one. Okay, it's not new. I got a DPMS Panther way back in the day, NRA, from Mr. Gene Cox, who was doing the paperwork back then.
Yep.
I had Keith Warren out here, and Timber Creek Outdoors CEO was out here shooting prairie dogs. And he looked at that, and he says, do you have an AR? I said, yeah, I have one. And he grabs it, and he's like, I'm taking this back with me. And he sent it back to me completely tricked out. The only thing that I think that's original is like the serial number.
Mm-hmm.
Because he tricked this thing completely out, and I've yet to shoot it. It is so light. It's awesome, man. I mean, it looks great. I'm just not an AR guy because I don't like cleaning rifles as much as probably some people do.
Yeah,
and I love shooting suppressed, man. I really do, and that really makes it dirty on AR styles.
Yeah, a lot of people think cleaning guns is therapeutic for them. Not for me. It stresses me out because I hate doing it. No, I agree with you.
I just think my tolerance is very consistent when it's not cleaned. Very, very tight.
Yeah. Well, if I don't get down there and we do that, you get up this way, bring it with, and we'll set something up at Dougie's, and then, man, he can shoot out as far as you want down there. Well, I mean, I'm stretching out a little bit, but I mean, 220 would easily within the realm of the 223. So yeah, and I love doing that, shooting those, and I'd like to see what the guy did to that. It'd be awesome. Didn't you say they were like the guy was you wanted to bring in like the Blackhawks or something?
Yeah, he was So he was in the military. He was a sniper in the military. And him and Chris Kyle they should make a movie about this guy too. This guy has probably more
Awesome.
confirmed kills that he doesn't even want to talk about. I tell you what, you and I haven't experienced it, but these guys have been in the military. I got a good buddy that I was talking about, that mechanic. You should have him on your program and just do a veterans one and talk to him about it, because he loves sharing that story, because Vietnam vets, they kind of held it all in.
Yeah.
And it's important for these guys to be able to talk about it.
Yeah. Oh, I'd love to do it. We'll have to talk about that. I'd be more than happy to do that. I know Clay and I have my Uncle Dean on one time, and he's got a lot of stuff that I didn't even know about. So, it's good to hear that. I mean, people need to hear those kind of things. But all right, let's go. We got Brown and George said just a reliable round overall, accurate, fast, and deadly. Josh Patterson loves the 223 bolt tack driver. Eric Newman piled up 5 deer in the last 2 years with their 223 55 grain bullets, which 55 grain bullet, by far the most popular bullet weight for 223. Doug Thompson, evening guys, evening Doug. One shot cap. This live is or a rerun. Nope, it's live. Brad and George replying to Doug Thompson. How is it tonight? Brian Warner used to own the workshop. He's retired. Okay, used to own it. His dad used to own it.
Okay.
So we're still talking. We're still going to talk sausage making with Brian and his dad. So, hey, there you go. Hams was Brandon's beer choice. Oh, Lynette Schlitz malt. Gene Cox made good. Gene, I'm glad you made it in, buddy.
Got to back up now. She's a Schlitz. Who is doing the Schlitz?
Lynette K. It's Dougie's wife.
You got to go down to Deadwood, South Dakota, Main Street. There's this place. It's something Peacock or whatever. I don't remember what the heck it is, but it's on the right-hand side if you're going into Deadwood. And it's a woman's clothing store. And in the center of it is a Schlitz bar. The owner's husband sits back there. $1 Schlitz beers. Well, as long as you're
Schlitz or the malt liquor,
Schlitz. Ooh. Schlitz beer. As long as your spouse is shopping, it's a $1. If you just come in without a spouse, it's probably $2.
Still a good deal.
But I mean, what a great thing.
That's in Deadwood.
In Deadwood, yeah. I can't remember, something like that. But anyway, my wife needed something for the Stockman's Foundation ball, and she's like, "I want to go in here." I'm like, "All right, I'll follow you in here, right?"
Yep.
And she's like, "Well, just go up there. There's a bar." And I'm like, "Say what now? Somebody is smart enough to put a bar in a women's clothing store?
That's awesome.
Really?" And let me tell you, it was a lot of fun. The guy is great, but all they serve is Schlitz. That's it.
You know what? You could even do to improve more attendance. Start selling 223 ammunition there.
I bet if you would ask, he'd probably have some of that too.
All right, Trappist said they quit making hams light.
Oh, maybe they did. I think I don't know.
Clay's ghosting. He's using Donnell's YouTube account. Doug Thompson getting ready to throw some lead, shooting air rifle in my garage attempt. Perfect. I love it. Air rifle's fun, man. A lot of people don't do that. They're awesome. Josh Patterson, exactly right. M Carbo trigger spring kit does wonders for Savage. Yeah, and I've actually used the M Carbo trigger springs in the Ruger American. Work great. James Bornman, my cousin. What's up, Jimmy? What's up, James? He's down in Iowa, man. Thanks for tuning in, brother. Appreciate that. Appreciate it. All right, Corey Merriman, he's got a Diamondback AR-223. He's good to go at the 500 yards.
Diamondbacks are really nice.
Yeah, man, we used to have them at NRA banquets. Remember that, Scott?
I think Jesse Flash still has a couple of them.
Yeah, my buddy actually, Big R, got one of 308 Diamondback as well. Hey, we're doing all military cartridges here. One shot cap. God bless our veterans. God bless them. Absolutely, one shot cap. Oh, there you go. Clay's going. He's coming in on the guns in the 701. Your Gene Cox next door to Mustang Sally's is where you're talking, I think, Scott.
He knows. So also, Mr. Mayor said, Scott, some whiskey, West River whiskey is another. You can go in and do tastings and samples.
Yep.
And the lady that helps out do that, she's originally from the Bowman, know her for many years. And he claims that he went in and bought me a bottle of whiskey that I get to get mortgaged in order to pick up. So, they make UPS deliveries to my ranch.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
All right, Scott. So we're going to do our first break here. And I tell you, when we come back, we're going to get into a little more why I'm going to say the 223 is America's cartridge. All right. So we got 2 ads here, a couple minutes. So here we go with the first one.
Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Discover the world of firearms at Bismarck's Double H Gun Shop. With a wide range of products from handguns to rifles, we cater to all your shooting needs. We are your local gun experts. Not only do we sell firearms, reloading supplies, targets, and whatever your heart desires, but we also have a ton of knowledge and answers.
We shoot, we hunt, we compete, we reload.
It's been the Howard's way since 1976, and we ain't fixing to change anything. Visit our website at hhgunshop.com to browse our inventory. Double H Gun Shop, Bismarck's best new and used firearm reloading supply, gunsmithing, and sporting goods store. Double H Guns.
Double H Guns.
1021 South Washington Street, Bismarck, North Dakota. Call 701-223-4888.
Right on.
You know what H&H stands for, don't you, Jamie?
Howard and Howard?
Hornady and Hams.
Works for me, buddy. Works for me. Oh, yeah. Hey, man, and you guys get in there if you support our sponsors, make sure you tell them you heard it on Guns in the 701 and 701 Nation. I'm serious. Tell them you appreciate them sponsoring live streams like this because Scott can attest to this more than anybody. He's been doing it for 20 years on real radio, Scott. Without sponsors, man, it's pretty. I mean, you can do it, but
you can do it absolutely. But I'll tell you this right now: the sponsors what makes it go on, and yeah, stop in. Whether you have something good that we said tonight, or even something that you didn't agree with.
Yeah, right.
Let them know that you're listening. Let them know.
Yeah.
Or watching. I guess you can say watching. I got to say listening. As you can see, the face there for radio, buddy. Not podcast.
Man, that's the prettiest man I ever saw.
I did a little welding without my welding hood on today, and I got a little flash burn going on.
Yeah. Well, it looks good. You're looking. At least you can see in the background now. When I was on with you a few weeks ago, there you're all for. Was it 20? Was it 30 below or 30? Man, you were froze up.
All I have is a sweatshirt on. I don't have a parka.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, I like this January thaw we got coming. So, all right, Scott. Let's get it. So let's get into why is the 223 America's cartridge? In my opinion. And I had some buddies of mine text me today, oh, man, you can't kill this with that, and it's it won't penetrate this and that. It's America's cartridge.
What are they shooting here? Let's go through the animals in North America and see what they can shoot and what they can't shoot with it.
Right.
Because I'm going to argue this.
Okay, yeah, and I tell you what, I'm not going on America's. I'm not saying it's America's hunting cartridge. I'm saying all around. And when I get into all around, I'm talking ammo abundance, ammo selection, recoil, rifle selection, and yet it does have killing power. Yeah. You can get rifles with the magazines and the recoil, and you can kill everything, in my opinion, from a squirrel to a deer and beyond. It depends on what you're hunting it for, right? And
I don't know if the squirrel would have anything left that you'd want to eat, but you can kill a squirrel. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm not from the South. I don't eat.
That's
squirrel.
what I'm saying. Down in those Southern boys that love to go squirrel hunting.
Love you Southern guys, but I'm not eating squirrel until I have to, man. and of course, Scott, if the shit hits a fan, guess what? There's plenty of because the U.S. military has it. And as I said, it's the most popular sold center fire rifle cartridge in America. And matter of fact, NATO, love them or hate them, I'm not a fan, but guess what they use? 5.56. So there's plenty of that shit all over the world. You know, I think the only thing in America that outsells it in a rifle is just a straight up old 22. So I don't know if you got anything to add to that, Scott. But I mean, we can talk. Let's talk about like you were saying, killing stuff. Like, I mean, most people will tell you, "Well, shit, you can't kill nothing with that thing."
Well, that's false.
100%.
Let's go through animals.
Yeah,
all right,
absolutely.
prairie dogs. Shot a prairie dog with one.
Yep.
Coyotes, porcupine, skunks. Okay, which is understandable, right? Those are pretty easy animals.
Yeah.
I've taken a white-tailed deer with one. I've taken a mule deer with one. And these are one shots, by the way.
Right.
I had a cow break a leg. Took care of the cow with one shot. I had bulls break legs, and I had to do that for butchering. And I used my 223 for that. And I had a guy that could not get his elk taken care of. And all I had was my 223. And with the right shot placement, you can kill an elk with one shot with a 223.
Right.
And that's the big thing is shot placement. I think that's where a lot of people, they need to worry about where they're actually using the right caliber for what you want to do.
Yeah, and Corey Merriman said that in the comments. It's all about shot placement. Actually, Scott, the deer that I've seen and killed with the 223, I'm not going to lie to you, it was one shot.
Yeah,
it was one shot. And then and as far as ammo goes, they make deer specific ammo now. And Axe and I even actually did a test, not on 2 deer loads, the 64 grain Nosler and a 62 grain Sierra Boattail soft point. I mean, opened up perfect, great wound. Went through at 250 yards. I shot the sucker, opened up and blew right through the ballistics gelatin. So, you know, well, it probably didn't open up enough, JD. It's not going to massively pedal out it. And I would say I would not actually shoot at a deer past 200 with it. I mean, I maybe would, but not much farther than that. But at 200, I have no doubt that that's a deer killer 200 yards.
It probably won't go drop right in its tracks, but it will in the next 20, 30 yards.
But how many deer have you seen not dropping its tracks with way higher calibers? I've seen 300 Win Mag, 7mm Ultra Mags not drop them right in their tracks, and they keep going. So it's you can gut shoot them, you shoot them in the ass. I don't care how big the caliber is. It's not I mean, if you got them in the rear end or something in the hip bones with all copper and it blew through and probably would shatter it. It'd drop them, but it wouldn't kill them. But in the same breath, you could probably, within that range, a 223 with an all copper would probably bury it,
Yeah.
But that's not the point. Is you can kill, and so now somebody's like, well, I got a 243, it'll do the same thing. Right, but factor in what else I said. Recoil. I mean, you get a woman or a young kid to shoot a 223. I mean, that thing's like, especially with a suppressor on, I mean, that thing's like a freaking kitten. And they're going to put that thing or if they're shooting a 243 and this thing's going to jump and kick. And I mean, as an overall, it's not the best. It's like the jack of all trades to me. It's not the master, like the old saying, not the master of one, but it's a jack of all trades. And the availability, rifles available. I mean, AR-15, whether you like ARs or not, or you don't care about them, guess what? That sucker's been the top selling rifle since probably Obama got elected in 2008. Every year,
yeah, he was a great gun salesman.
And then Joe topped him, It was kind of the Trump slump, but when he was in, which I was fine with, man. I enjoy it when my rights aren't threatened, my gun rights especially. But yeah.
And you can find ammunition.
Yeah. Let's all right, let's go through a few of these comments here, Scott, unless you got something you want to.
No, go ahead. There's plenty of comments. Let's catch up on some of these.
Okay, Gene says, JD, did you get your finger? I'm not sure what that means, Gene. Unless you texted me something that didn't come through. Darren Mund, you guys should make a calendar. Me and Scott? Oh, okay, we can do that, right, Scott? JD, Scott, and beer and guns. We can do
I don't know if I have the beach body ready to go here just yet.
dad body kind of thing, man.
Dad bod calendar. There
We'll
you
throw
go.
some bales
And
around.
I don't even have kids though. That's the problem.
That's fine. That's fine. That's the problem. Gene Cox, 9 out of 10 animals killed have no opinion on what you kill. Exactly, Gene. If you shoot a deer in the heart and he because right, Scott, you can attest, you can shoot a deer in the heart with a 300 Win Mag, and that sucker will still run 100 yards just on pure
Yeah,
ground.
absolutely.
So he doesn't know. All he knows is something hurt and scared him, and he's running, and the next thing you know, he tips over.
Fight or flight.
Right. Yeah. So that's 100% true statement right there. And boiler room is the key. Right. Boiler room. I'm actually getting to be a neck shooting guy, Scott.
Yep.
And a high shoulder. I mean, there's a couple neck shots this year. My dad got one and absolutely just crumpled that big mule deer up with. That was a 6.5 Creed, but my Uncle Dean says he read an article in an outdoors magazine about Eskimos using 22 short to kill bears that they caught in their traps. You see? Yeah. He's 100% right. Shoot him right in the head.
The first 22 short, I was probably 8, 9 years old, and we were working cattle, and one of the cows came through and broke a leg. And our neighbor went to his pickup, pulled out a 22 short, went right up to the skull, and it dropped that cow instantly. Those 22 shorts, they got some killing power. Absolutely. I have no problem with that one bit.
Yeah. So real quick off topic, but you know how people always want to shoot, let's go shoot the pig and we're going to butcher him, or the cow we're going to shoot with a 22.
Yeah.
This is my opinion. You tell me if you think I'm right. I think that's from like the 30s when there was nothing around and you couldn't afford anything. So you're like, just one round, just take that 22 and shoot it.
Yeah.
Because if I was going to do it, I'd just say, give me the 223 or whatever, the 30-30, and I'd shoot it in the head instead of the 20. It doesn't kill them all the time. You shoot them in the head, but I mean, I've seen a few of them running around going nuts, but
I'm telling you, those old timers had it figured out, man.
Yeah.
They were very efficient.
I think that's what the whole thing is. At least use a 22 Magnum, in my opinion, but whatever. Like my uncle said, the 22 shorts killing big old freaking polar bears. So whatever, right? Gene Cox, military-wise, the 223 caused the Soviets to develop the AK-74 in 5.45 by 3.9. Yeah, that's exactly right. You know, and it did. I mean, I've read many stories about it, and the Russians even said that was far more accurate than the 7.62 by 3.9, and even past 200 at 223 or the 7.6 or the 5.45 by 3.9. The energy outperforms the 30 cal and the 7.62 by 3.9. Yeah. He said the finger at H&H for liberals. Yeah, perfect. Gene went in there. He was their first guy to go in there and then support H&H. So I appreciate that.
So what you're saying is he'll drive to Bismarck, but he won't come over to Rame. Okay.
Yep.
Sure.
Yeah.
I see.
You got a gun shop there?
My house.
Gotcha.
Everything's for sale for the right price, buddy.
Oh, Clay says he uses a 30-30 on her butcher beef. Never fails. Yeah. Hey, speaking of
30-30 is a great round. I mean,
and Scott, you know, 30-30, I will tell you, past 200 yards, what do you think has more energy, the 223 or the 30-30?
Past what?
Past 200.
223?
Yeah, exactly. Gene box in a kill box in a butcher shop. 22 long rifle works best at 2 feet. Gene, do you guys use, just curious, like a hollow point, or do you use a full metal jacket, or what do you use when you shoot them in the butcher shop? I think
whatever 22 is available.
Soft point. I know I've had people like try and finish deer off with a 22, the lead heads, and they said it just splatters and the hair goes flying off their head. The guy at work said that's happened to him a few times. That was a handgun. It wasn't a rifle, so we, you know.
So I was told when I was 8 years old, I'm like, how did you get this cow to drop so quick? So this is what this old timer told me. He says you take a straight line from eye to eye, and you aim 1 inch above the center on any animal. He says any animal you want to kill, cross the eyes 1 point, and that's what he told me, and I've used that theory, and it sure seems to work.
Well, you know what I've learned, that when the old guys tell you something that's been passed down from generations, it's probably the truth.
They've experienced it, yeah.
Right.
And they did that before there was anti-hunting and anti-agricultural people around. So They may have had some mishaps by trying to do something different. They figured out what worked.
Yeah. What Gene says right here, solid point right between the eyes.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And Gene's a meat inspector and works in butcher shop. So, I mean, if
he'd know.
Yeah, he knows what's going to drop them. So you don't want to mess up any head cheese on the pigs when you shoot them in the head either, right?
Those hogs are tough skull son of a guns, man.
That's what I'm saying. I've seen a few pigs run around, but I think it was like hollow points or just the lead stop.
So when I was shooting, I took my 223 with down to Texas hog hunting, and I was trying to get one with my archery, but he says take your rifle with just in case. Sometimes they don't get close enough.
Yeah.
I says, where do you aim? He says, they're broadside, shoot them right in the ear. And I did, and it just levels them. Like, they don't even move.
So I'm told the pigs are tough, and you got to have the right bullet, actually, for not just 223s, but other higher calibers if you want to shoot them. Because they said I'm told the shoulder is just like a damn armor plate there. From 300.
Shoot them right in the ear.
Perfect.
Don't even worry about the shoulder. If they're broadside to see the shoulder, center punch them right in the ear.
What if you want to mount it?
Center punch them in the ear. Go to a good taxidermist. They'll figure it out.
Yeah,
it's not like it's going to blow the skull apart. I mean, these things are tough, but a 223 ain't going to blow. I mean, it went right in. It didn't come out, and it dropped right there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm saying too. Like I've been seeing the neck shots have been working freaking great, and my kid, my youngest wants to deer hunt, and one of my buddy's youngest boys want to. So it's going to be a 223 if they get it. Depends on how many whitetail we got, because you can only draw whitetail for the youth tag in our unit. Yeah. But anyways, if they do, it's going to be 223, and I mean, I think we're going to go with the 62 grainer, but we'll get it. Gene says meat inspector school, draw an X between ear and eye. Sounds good to me.
That works.
All right, Scott. Here's what we're going to do. We got commercial break number 2 here. We got that coming up, and then we come back. I know you're not a big reloader, but I'll make it quick. We're gonna go with what I like to use for reloading powders, and then after that, we're gonna go our favorite bullets for varmints, 223 bullets, varmints, predators, deer, antelope, home defense, and all purpose. So we're gonna hit it. 2 more commercials again. I'm going to. We got H&H, so they're getting the special treatment here, just like Lauer is. So Lauer's always going to go first.
Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701, and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Discover the world of firearms at Bismarck's Double H Gun Shop. With a wide range of products from handguns to rifles, we cater to all your shooting needs. We are your local gun experts. Not only do we sell firearms, reloading supplies, targets, and whatever your heart desires, but we also have a ton of knowledge and answers.
We shoot, we hunt, we compete, we reload.
It's been the Howard's way since 1976, and we ain't fixing to change anything. Visit our website at hhgunshop.com to browse our inventory. Double H Gun Shop, Bismarck's best new and used firearm reloading supply, gunsmithing, and sporting goods store. Double H Guns.
Double H Guns.
1021 South Washington Street, Bismarck, North Dakota. Call 701-223-4888.
All right. Thanks again to our sponsors. And again, make sure if you go in and buy something from them or do business with them that you mentioned you heard them at Guns in the 701. Scott, real quick, we're talking about shooting, pigs to butcher or cattle. Right here from Double H. I went in there. Can I see if I can focus?
Get focused, buddy. There it is.
Federal personal defense. I talked about these on a show a long time ago. 29 grain, and Daryl donated a box of these. We're gonna do a ballistics gel test out at Axles with these. I watched a couple of them, and man, these things look like they work pretty awesome. If you want some penetration on game or personal defense, you know what kind of game that is. Hoodlums who are trying to do you some harm. We're running through them. I think we're going to try and get some bones and actually go through that first and then into the gel. But we're going to be doing a lot of ammo tests. Kind of talked it over with Daryl. Daryl's all on board with that. So it sounds awesome. Daryl at Double H, thanks, Daryl. We're going to get that not this weekend, but next weekend. Because this weekend, I think I'm going to actually do some night coyote hunting, Scott. I've never done it before. And I'm going to get a hold of my cousin. He said he's got a prairie dog town he's going to kill off around Dodge. Man, I'm about shooting prairie dogs out to 223. I'm about doing that all the time. So, and real quick, what's the farthest you ever killed a coyote with your 223, you think?
That it was the picture I sent you.
Okay.
Yeah. I think when I stepped it off, it was probably 220, 225, somewhere in there.
Yeah. You dumped them easy, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Easily.
Yeah.
But I don't try to reach out too far with my 223 because I don't practice enough with it in those longer ranges.
Yeah.
I kind of step up my guns in my cartridges in a certain way. If I know I'm going to be going, and like if I'm heading to my winter pasture where everything's long range out there because nothing's going to go through those canyons to come in.
Yeah.
You're going to be using long range. If I'm going to get early coyotes and the pups, they come in really close, then I'll be using something like a 223.
Oh, God, he shoots pups.
Yep, I sure do.
Because guess what they do when they grow up, Scott? What do they eat?
Same thing. They're calf killers like everything else.
They're cute. Yeah. They're cute when they're puppies.
They're
like
not
anything else.
Cute. Good grief.
Oh,
you want a ratty old dog with lice that smells bad and you think that's cute? Okay.
I'm saying the puppies.
Me too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See, Scott's got to deal with them a whole lot worse than I do, but
there's nothing cute about them.
Yeah, like I said, some people shoot coyote pups, doesn't bother them. Me, I'm like, yeah, you can shoot them. I mean, I'm not going to turn away if they want to do it. But anyway, let's get on with it. I'll go through this quick, Scott, and then we're going to go with our favorite bullets here. Because are you reloading yet? I know you had all that reloading stuff when I was out.
I have all the reloading stuff, and still haven't used any of it. You know why? Here's the thing, Jamie.
It takes a long time. I will say that.
Well, here's the thing. When I came out to the ranch and started taking over out here, your priorities go from 100%. You get to twist off every day of your life and go hunt something, or you have to try to keep your cattle alive or your calves alive. So each shot is placed very carefully. And I just don't go through enough ammunition at this point to have to reload.
Yeah.
And I'm saving all the brass, though. Don't get me wrong. Everything I do, I'm saving brass. I have all that. I have the primers pulled out of them. They're all ready to go just in case I need to start doing it. But I have not stepped into that hole yet. Plus, I don't have really a place to set up a reloading area.
Yeah, you're kind of crowded down there, I remember.
Got an old ranch house here. It's very small, very tight and tiny, and not a lot of room. So
yeah,
unless I get big sponsors like you that I can start buying, put on a garage or a big shop or something, maybe
I'll
that
let you know if we start getting enough money from them to do that, buddy. I'm just happy I got a free box of 22 here.
There you go. There you go.
But no, hey, if you don't have to reload, because
there's so many people that do it, and honestly, everything that I shoot right now, factory has been working really well for me. So it's not like I have to develop a load for any of my rifles.
Yeah,
and maybe that's why I use the rifles I do.
Well, factory loads now. I mean, honestly, some that I reload. I mean, there's some factory loads that I can't. I mean, it's the same, and I'm just like, why am I even doing this?
Yeah.
Which is a good thing about 223 because you can buy a lot of 223 in bulk that is good ammo. And I'm not saying you're always going to just eat the hole out like a bug hole, man, but you're going to be able to get an inch or 3/4 inch group for sure.
Huh.
And, and you can buy it in bulk. I mean, yeah, it's not as cheap as it was, but God, you know what always got me? That Ultramax out of South Dakota when they used to have that. God dang, them soft points had them 55, and you could buy a 50-round box of them things for like $20, and those things would just shoot lights out. And then their place burned up, and they never went back in business, and it just devastated me because you could buy I think it was a 500-round box you could get. That sucker was under $200.
Yeah.
It was saw points. It wasn't just, FMJ banging steel. You shoot a coyote with an FMJ, you can sit there and watch them run for the next 5 miles. Unless
you can do that. It depends on who's shooting. You can see that in any round.
Yeah. So, all right, I'm going to quick run through these, my favorite loading powders here. And I'll tell you right now, I'm a ball powder guy because me and Scott were just talking about time and whatever. And I definitely don't blame you, Scott. You running a ranch. My dad used to be a big race car driver. Once he bought his own farm, no more time for that. That went to the back of the bus, man, which totally understandable because you got to make money and you got to eat. And anyway, my favorite powder used to be tack. I switched over to W748, and the reason I did switch over to that, I'll tell you, Scott, because W748 Winchester 7 actually made in the USA. Tack, not made in the USA. Love tack, clean burning, shoots good and damn near anything, but I was like, I'm going to stick with something made right here in good old USA. So W748 and tack, H335, another one made in the USA. And like I said, they're ball powder, so as you know, temp sensitive, right? It's got more temp sensitive ball powders. Yeah. And I have seen 335, in my experience of running them over the chrono, the most temp sensitive powder that I've used. I'm not saying there's other ones that aren't more than that, but that sucker will fluctuate like 100 feet per second from 90 degrees on the prairie dog town to when I'm out, I'll shoot it through the chrono and I'm going to go zero in the winter to shoot coyotes. That sucker's down 90 to 100 feet per second. Tack, I've noticed about 70. W748 was about 50. And you're going to go to stick. I don't use stick. I used to use stick.
There's a lot of people in this area that use that. Yeah.
I mean, if you had a powder trickler and you want to do it one at a time, but I like to shoot a ton, and I'm like, I'm not dealing with this stick shit in my powder dump. RL15, great. But what you can do, there's smaller stick, like the smaller extruded stuff, H322 or XBR 8208. But you shoot suppressed, then you're really getting dirty. That stuff to me is dirty powder. I mean, I could tell in my AR, even in my bolt gun, I pull my bolt out and just gummed up in there. But if you want to do high volume reloading, you just re-zero it when it's cold out, and then you're good. And once April, May comes around, whatever. I enjoy going to the range and shooting groups. Some people hate it. My dad, I don't think he just does it when it's warm out, and then he was shocked with a 17 once. I'm like, Dad, can we zero this in? Well, it's on. Well, then he was shocked when we actually did it, and then he's like, man, I'm just laying these things right on top of one another at 110. I'm like, yeah, burn a few rounds and zero it in, man.
Yep.
It ain't like it's not fun, right? You can shoot. So, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, if you don't have to reload, Scott, man, I totally get where you're coming from. I'm in Bismarck. I don't ranch. I mean, you're out there. You don't have.
We don't have the access to a whole lot of the supplies, I guess you could say, as much as somebody in the urban area, I guess. Yeah. So, all right, let's go on. You better catch up on some of the comments. There's some pretty good ones out here,
Appreciate you doing that for me because I get to rambling on. Like I said, sometimes you just got to say, how about you just shut up and get to
shut up and hunt.
Yeah, there you go. All right. So let's get back to where we were. Solid point. We got that one right. Meat inspector Eric Newman. Jamie, bring them down to South Dakota. Any antlerless tag for youth for $10. Thump a big muley. Awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's
South
great.
Dakota has some great rules down there for kids, man. They really do.
That is awesome.
They
I
do a
would
nice
I would
job.
love to do that. And hey, mule deer are my favorites. Some people don't like them, but he said if you don't have the whitetail numbers up there, heck, do the early hunt and can get in the sod dog thumping too. Yeah. I'm definitely probably just as jacked up about killing prairie dogs as I am deer anymore. But Eric Newman, I want to find a yote den. I want to have a mount with about 5 or 6 yote pups. We were talking about that. Hey, I'm cool with that as long as you don't shoot fox and baby. See, well, when that does, she's not down with that, which is fine.
I've only shot one fox, and I have that back here. Made a rug out of it because it had polka dotted legs. And it was kind of a rare thing to see that black and white polka dotted legs on the front and the back. So I did shoot that one. But other than that, we usually don't have a lot of fox at the ranch here, but everywhere we go shoot coyotes, they say the same thing. Don't shoot fox. That's the only thing that keeps
let's do
rodents and everything else out of there, you know.
Sometime down the road, let's do a predator show, and then you wear the fox and I'll wear the coyote fur just around the neck for the whole show or whatever.
That's perfectly fine. I can do that.
Okay, we're gonna do that. Gene Cox, he said reloading is therapeutic.
I heard that. Yeah, I heard that. Yeah,
I definitely would say that is more therapeutic than cleaning guns, because like we said, cleaning guns not therapeutic at all to me. One Shot Cap. Hey, Scott, breeding season for coyotes is nearing. Lock your dog up. LO. Yeah, that's right. Because you said your dog was hammering on some female coyotes, right?
Yeah, last year my boxer decided to, there was a coyote that kind of ran across the pasture. And I don't know if you want me to tell the story or not.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Go for it. Absolutely.
So anyway, my boxer, he's not the smartest on the breeds of dogs out there.
Okay.
But he knew love when he seen it. So he takes off after this female coyote, and it was a, getting to be of age female coyote yearling, and she let him down, and I'm sitting there, I'm all balanced out on the bail bed of my pickup. I had my 6.5 ready to go, and I'm watching it all go down, and it's like, you're not going to shoot the coyote as he's doing his deed, right? I mean, and he'd put
I'd let him finish.
And he is just letting it go, man. And so there's a bro code.
Yeah, there is. Absolutely.
Let him finish, right?
Yep.
And he got done, and I was sitting there thinking, that's just what I need is coyotes mixed with boxer. It's like built like a brick shit house coyote dog out there. So he starts coming back to the pickup with this look like, on his face,
Yep.
And she starts following him. And he keeps coming and keeps coming and keep coming. And I finally whistle, and I don't know, it was 500 yards. And I dumped her,
Yeah.
And he just turned around and he looked, and he just came back to the pickup like, yeah, thanks for letting me finish, buddy. And I'm like, hey, that's the bro code.
That's absolutely the bro code. Whether you're a man or you're watching your dog or whatever, your horse, I don't care, you're elk hunting. Man,
let them finish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Die with a smile on her face.
Yeah. That would be some interesting pups. Yeah. Because you imagine, 80-pound coyotes and just solid as a rock.
Yeah. You pick up your pet dog compared to when you go grab a dead coyote. I mean, the dog's like picking up the freaking Terminator. He's just heavy dead weight. Way more weight there. Gene Cox says he'd put premium factory load up against any reload. I said what I said.
Yeah.
I've actually shot even, and I got pictures of groups. I definitely would do it. It's like the Fiocchi, that's actually probably like the cheapest.
Is that how you pronounce it?
I think it's Fiocchi actually, but yeah, that stuff. And I had the ballistic tips I thought was pretty good, and I actually shot the soft points. Kicked out. Soft points are unbelievable. So yeah, those things kick ass. I definitely would.
I have 2 boxes of I say Fiocchi, but a deer hunter brought them to me at 223 rounds. I tried to use them on coyotes. I had no luck with them.
The ballistic tip or the soft point?
I'd have to go and grab a box. I'm not positive because I put them away in the.
What grain were they? All right, I'm nerding out on you too much. All right, Gene Cox, Scott's dog. I was thinking the same thing. And Eric Newman said 26 grains of H335, 55 grain bullet, that's golden to him. Josh Patterson, there'd be some interesting looking pups. Dougie Wolf, any loving is good loving.
That's right, Doug.
But I remember Travis George and I texted you. We were going up to Golden Valley one morning and listening to you, and then we said,
I'll be going up there tomorrow night, baby.
Yeah, that's right. You have Shreve Red Angus sale, right?
That's right. Yeah,
I'm going up Saturday, but yeah. And we said brown chicken, brown cow, and Trav and I were like, "What the hell does that mean?" We found out shortly thereafter. Oh, so all right, Scott. So your varmints. Let's just go prairie dog. What's your favorite prairie dog bullet for?
Just to go out there in the middle of the town and plink all day.
Yeah, it's prairie dog.
17 HMR.
All right, so since this is a 223 show, give me.
I know it is.
What do you got for 223?
Oh, if I'm going to use a 223 in prairie dogs?
Yeah.
I'm using the same old. Oh, I'm using a Hornady, 53 or 55 grain VMAX.
Ones what box of them you gave me when I was out there after?
Yeah, absolutely, and it's part of the 15,000 rounds that Keith Warren left me after they came out and shot. So I still not through all of those rounds yet.
That was 55 grain. It was a VMAX bullet Hornady custom, as I recall. So same thing you're getting. My favorite varmint bullet, 50 grain Sierra, Blitz King, absolutely devastation. So predators, so coyotes, fox. What do you got for that? Same thing?
Yeah, same ammo. That's all I have right now. I have that Fiochi stuff, and I had to just put it away because it just didn't. In my rifle, it wasn't shooting as accurately as the VMAX was.
Bring it down. I'll trade you for something.
Okay.
50 me for coyotes for sure. And usually what I got in my AR when I'm up at the farm is 55 grain Nosler ballistic tip varmints. Work freaking awesome, man. So if you're going to shoot a deer, Scott, let's go to that deer and antelope. Mid-size. What are you going to?
Same stuff. I dropped him with the VMAX.
Really?
Yeah.
You sound like my dad. He shot like this big mule deer. I'm like, what do you use? And he come out and showed me the box. I'm like, those are varmint bullets, Dad. And he's like, well, I killed a big varmint. And I was like, all right, you got me there.
Yeah, same stuff, man.
Out of the 14 at like 200 yards.
Here's the thing. It's at the same rifle. It's shooting accurately. I know where it hits, and it's about shot placement. So if I can kill a prairie dog and hit something this big, I should be able to hit the heart of a whitetail or mule deer.
Yeah. So off topic for once, do you ever take people out who just shoot targets to shoot prairie dogs and it just absolutely wrecks their ego because they can't hit them?
Every time somebody from the city comes out.
Right.
And when I say city, I mean like New York or LA or
Houston, no, I've had them from Bismarck do that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we get down and I'm like, it ain't like shooting that gong, is it? Yeah, but I hit it in the head every time. Yeah, I know, but now you're shooting at a beer can out here at 300, man. It's a whole different beer can. I'm saying beer can size, but yeah. So like deer, like I said before, 62
beer can size. Holy cow, that's small.
Well, that's the little pups when they're out there in May, right? I'd go with the 62 grain that I do now, but before it was a 55 grain, Sierra Blitz, not Blitz King, but Game King sub. I mean, crushed them, blew the lung. I mean, lung shot done. I mean, the things were. And like I said, my dad used a varmint out of his Mini 14 of all things.
Wow. Mini 14.
With irons, man. With irons. He is deadly with iron sights.
That's awesome.
I loaded up some of these 64 grain. I told you these Nosler bonded. The FBI uses them now, and we did a gel test. I'd definitely be in right through the shoulder 200. I'd do it with that, and it'd be game over. So, like, if you got home defense, you're just like you're sticking with that 55 grain.
Same thing, man. I got a lot of them. And I know where they hit.
So here's what I tell you about that. Axe and I did a test on a number of 223 rounds, just like 10 yards away, point blank. And everybody's like, this is what you need for your home defense round. And no, I will tell you right now, the best thing him and I shot, 50 grain, either the VMAX, the Sierra Blitz King, or the 55 grain. They go in and absolutely blow up, and they penetrated. I mean, we got a video on YouTube and Facebook, whatever, if you want to look it up. I'm not going to do it right now, but they went in about 5 to 8 yards. I think the 55 grain went a little deeper, about 8 inches. So that's not going through your wall, man, at all.
Right,
What that's doing
right.
is going in and vaporizing some piece of trash's organs who broke into your house or whatever is doing something.
Funny you
That is
mention this.
that's what I'm using as a ballistic tip for self-defense, home defense,
So
whatever.
I was doing a little research there. Sorry to cut you off there.
No,
but,
go ahead.
I was doing some research about the myths about the 223. And this came up on a forum. It said tumbling bullets are the salesman BS when it comes to M60 and going through trials. These claims, if you're going to shoot somebody in a home self-defense and you use a 223, once they hit somebody, they start tumbling, and you should use a 308 so it goes through them and it goes through the wall and on the next wall. I'm like, that's BS. The 308 is going to start tumbling once it hits a human body too. So,
so ballistic gel, man, it's pretty cool, Scott. You gotta check some of this stuff out. You know what tumbled was, and I'm not even going to say.
But I'm talking about walls here. I mean, they're talking it's going to go through walls. I'm like, ballistic gel is different than 2x4 or 2x8.
I've seen the guy from Gun Talk do sheetrock, 2 sheetrocks. They did that. I mean, I think a lot of stuff like that, until you see it, just check it out on YouTube. Just go through that.
I'll have to, because I'll stick with the 223.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Like I'm telling you. And if you're going to do it and you're worried about
my tinnitus in my left ear says that the higher, bigger calibers, I'm not going to shoot them as much anymore unless they have a suppressor on it. I 100% agree there too. But I mean, if you go with a 308, you're shooting probably a 150 compared to whatever 55. You're not even going apples to apples here.
The more weight is more penetration, unless if you're shooting a Full Metal Jacket in your house, that's stupid. But I mean, if that's all you got, kneel down and shoot up through their chin or something. But
who wants to wreck their TV behind them?
Yeah,
come on now.
You're like I said, if you use a ballistic tip, man, you're not going through them. No, we tested it with multiple rounds, and that's what I'm telling you. That is my 100% home defense round. Is I got a mag for if it gets to my AR. It's and so what about a pistol, a hollow point? Yeah, that thing that would have blew right through a person. And we had like the biggest pedal out 9mm, and that thing penetrated like 14 inches. That would go right through most people. Yeah, most people aren't 14 inches wide.
If you have a dad bod, you do.
Yeah, it was impressive, man. I was really impressive with the 9mm. And like you said, the 17, we did that one too, Scott. I would definitely recommend that if somebody's breaks in your house, you got in that ballistic tip, because that's what we use as a Hornady, right? What is it, 32 grain or 20 grain it was, I think. Yeah, absolutely.
22 grain. Yeah.
Went in about like the AR did and blew up in there, and I'm like, yeah, that's you're stopping somebody with that when that thing opens up in there. And as like an all-purpose round, we know what Scott's answer is, the 55 grain ballistic tip. I'm going, if somebody's like, you can only have one round ever for a 223, I'm going with the 55 grain soft point. Yep. I've seen that thing dump deer. Myself did it, and I've seen it,
I'm sticking with mine because it's proven to me. I've seen it. I've used it on everything.
Yep. So what do you got? Let's go into a little bit your favorite 223 rifle, Scott. Are you an AR man? Are you a lever? Do you go to single shot? What's your favorite one? Because they make them in everything. I mean, the 223 rifles are made in everything.
So here's the reason I went from ARs to bolt rifles, is because I was hunting a tournament. There was a Mandan Coyote tournament it was back when it was the 7Cs. That's how long ago it was. Jesse Flath and myself, we went up to Hazen, and we were hunting. I think it was actually illegal, but this is over 7 years, so the statute of limitations is over on that. But we were hunting some of the spill piles on some of the old mines. And he had his AR, and I had my bolt action. And his AR going in and out of the pickup, it was 30-some below zero ambient temperature. Yep. And it was just bitter. The calling was great. The coyotes come in when it's that cold out. They're really hungry. And his firing pin would freeze up all the time on his AR. So I was shooting the coyotes and doing that, and he was getting frustrated, then would thaw it out and go in again, get out of the pickup, and it would freeze up again.
Mm-hmm.
So after that whole thing, if I'm going to use anything, it's going to be a bolt rifle. I really, really wish I could find a 223 lever action that I could carry with on my saddle.
Yeah.
Just so it doesn't have that bolt sticking out of it, and it's just easier to get in and out with. But I don't even know if they make those.
I got good news for you.
What's that?
Henry, not only do they make the Long Ranger, which comes in 223, but this year at SHOT Show, they just come out with another one. It's the Long Ranger, doesn't even have a hammer, hammerless, lever action.
Really?
Barrel's already threaded, and Scott takes 223 mags or any other mag is flush fitting mag that goes in.
That's awesome.
They're like the mag pull. You can put a beta drum in that sucker if you want. And they claim the sucker shoots lights out. And I know the Long Rangers do. The Long Rangers are. So yeah, I mean, I would say if that's what you're looking for, like I said, you can't even snag the hammer pulling it out if you get a scabbard or something.
Right.
That sucker's
no,
and it's threaded for you.
Yeah, Gene Cox just said, I think Henry makes one. You just said it, yeah.
Yep,
but
yep.
I'm telling you, that would be what I'd like to go to. The AR, yeah. I think from what I use on a daily basis, an AR is not conducive to how much dirt and grime I go through in a day, and not cleaning my rifles on a regular basis. I think that would get a little bit too gummed up for me. Valid points.
If
I was living in southern Texas and trying to protect my ranch from all the illegals coming in, absolutely, I'd pull out my Timber Creek redone AR here and get after it.
Well, you got to have one, because Clay and I had that gal on from Farm Bureau, and they have a ranch down there, and she said all the illegals coming over, you know what they're carrying? They're carrying freaking AR. So
yep, well. It's all over the place,
because you can't own guns
in
Mexico.
You mean the United States is selling guns to other people? What?
No, probably from
what?
All right, before I'm gonna give you my opinion, but first I'm gonna get to these comments. Josh Patterson says he shoots the 40 grain VMAX Fiocchi and 223 for prairie dogs. They work well on them, and I can vouch for that. My buddy Brian has probably this thing's like a unicorn. It is an AR, but that guy can put like Turkish junk in there, and that thing will shoot a half inch. And he come down when you're shooting prairie dogs, and he's like, "Yeah, I got some Fiocchis," and he had the blue tip, and I'm like, "Those aren't 50 grainers. I told you buy 50s. They're not." And I'm like, "No," because he didn't. I got 223, man. But they shot way high because these things were smoking out of there, and he was launching prairie dogs like nobody's business. So those are awesome.
Turkish junk.
Turkish, man, I gotta say though, I got some Turkish ammo. Somebody shot good, but the primers are blowing out of them.
What was that? The Mosin Nagant rifle. Where was that made? Is that a Yugoslavian?
Russia. No,
that was Russian.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. World War I, World War II.
Okay.
Yeah, Mosin's. I mean, slow as molasses and throwing cannonballs, but they're not. Doug's got. We're gonna do a video on one with. We're gonna use a bayonet and stab some watermelons too. So. Gene doesn't even own a 223. He says, but he loves the discussion. Thanks, Gene. I'm having a blast.
Well, hold on now. Man. He's an old school lever action dude.
Yep.
Maybe now he might get into the 223 for the long. Yeah.
See, I always was wondering why gun companies wouldn't do that more, because I love shooting lever actions is a freaking blast, man.
They're nice and skinny. They're easy. They're
for what you said, carrying them around, I mean, they are so freaking handy. It's unreal. Eric Newman says Barnes TTSX 55 grain for deer in our two. Yep, I've heard that from a lot of people. One shot cap. My son inherited my Mini 14. Yeah, Mini 14s look badass, but to this day, I have never seen one of them things shoot under like a volleyball group at 100.
Okay, so this was in the 90s. And a buddy of mine had a Mini 14, and we were deer hunting, and I didn't know what it was at that time.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. It took him
terrible
13, 14 shots to finally hit a deer, and the deer was just standing there because he was nowhere close to it.
Yeah, they're
but he did. But when he did hit it, it did drop. So
Yeah, once I told you my dad got his with that. I mean, he must have been lucky. He had the varmint bullet and he dropped it in one shot.
He
But
should
my
have been
dad-
using the VMAX. I'm telling you.
That's what he was using. So my cousin James, go for the Henry. They're awesome out of the box. Right on. Yeah, I mean that's awesome, man. Mike Deakins, newest guy.
Mitchell, South Dakota.
Yeah, the guy who actually made the commercials. Deke, you're doing a great job. Your commercials are awesome, and I love it. He said had so much more. I had so much fun. Show moss and ammo go bad and what? Can you read that one, Scott?
I'm reading it just like you did.
Corrode. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
As Mosin ammo go bad and corroded.
Oh, Mosin Nagant ammo. Yeah. Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, it's terrible. I'm telling you right now. I mean,
Yeah.
we did that in the NRA. I had one. I bought a box of ammo, and he's right. It corroded in no time.
Yeah. It's like you get some AK ammo. It's my buddy Wyatt shot some. Josh Patterson, my boy Savage 6.5 Creed is the way that rifle will shoot any and group. It will even shoot the cheap junk. Yeah. My buddy was complaining about. I think he was kind of half kidding, but he said, an AR won't shoot you with full metal jacket under 5-inch group. I got a bunch of different kinds of FMJ. I'm going to do a test because my AR will shoot that stuff pretty damn good, actually.
Really? Good.
Yeah. Trampus Brenner, I use an AR in cold weather. I use 2-stroke oil instead of gun oil.
That is freaking hilarious because when we checked into the gun tournament, when DPMS was still a company out of Somalia over there in Minneapolis.
Yeah, a little Somalia, yeah, St. Cloud, yep.
And Jesse was complaining to the guy. He's like, it froze up. He's like, just used 2-stroke oil on it. And Jesse's like, that's bullshit. That ain't ever gonna work. And here's a guy that backing it up. I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. So,
I mean,
but I didn't have who has 2-stroke motorcycle oil just laying around that's gonna take it out coyote hunting. We didn't even think it was gonna be a problem.
I would tell you, Scott, that a lot of people overlook it, and I've tested this shit and way below zero, and just like rem oil, especially like the Gen 2 rem oil. Perfect. Buy the, if you don't want to sit there and put it on real nice and pretty, get yourself the aerosol can.
Yeah.
That thing will run, it'll run perfect. So my favorite 223 rifle, I used to be 100% AR, and I'm still going to favor the AR for sure. But that Henry is freaking badass. I do love it.
I gotta look that up.
And it's got nice wood on it, man. And I'm not a wood guy either. But that thing is freaking awesome. Anything that can take a big magazine like that, you don't need that. Right. I don't need it. But I sure hell like having it in there. Yeah. If I'm shooting prairie dogs, I don't want a 5-round, and I damn sure don't want the damn top loader. I don't care if it's a flush fit 5-rounder. I want that son of a bitch I can pop it out and, and I want a big magazine in case I need it. Well, what are you ever going to need that for? Hell if I know, but I guarantee if somebody breaks in my house, I'm not going to go, thank God I only have a 5-round magazine. It'll be like, damn, if I got a beta drum, guess what's going in? But to get off topic, I got Ruger. Man, my Ruger American Ranch is so close to second place on my AR. It does outshoot it in accuracy a little bit for sure. Man, but you know what? Here's my main thing I don't like about having an AR on the ranch, Scott. You got one in the chamber, right? And then let's say you see a coyote, well, then he gets away from you. Bolt action, drop the mag or whatever, pop the round out, put it back in. AR, you got to grab that freaking charging handle and then catch the son of a bitch or go against the seat. And that is my one thing that I absolutely detest about AR-15.
You should put a oversized charging handle on.
No, I'm saying I don't like that I have to use that to eject it. It's so much easier to take the round out with a bolt or even even like this lever action, just you pull your mag out, click. But even that would throw a little bit, but I don't care. There's so many rifle options for the 223. I mean, that's another reason I think that's a great caliber for people to get in on, but
it's a great caliber. I know Gene Cox doesn't own a 223, but this is why he should.
Yeah.
He's got probably one round. He's got a caliber of everything in his arsenal. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah. And he said he does have a 22-250, so he's got it covered. And I know a lot of people will say, yeah, I got that 22-250 way faster.
It is.
A lot of people don't know this, Scott. and it is going to be a lighter bullet. I will grant you that. But Winchester has a varmint bullet. It's a 40 grainer, ballistic tip, 4,000 feet per second.
Holy moly!
That's a 223. I know Hornady has a super performance. It's right underneath that. But me personally, I've never found super performance ammo to shoot really good groups that I like. I know you kill shit with your Creed. I never shot a super performance in Creed, but my 223s never worked well for me.
But you have witnessed me shoot something with super performance in my Creed.
Yeah.
I thought I missed the damn antelope, and you're like, oh, no, you didn't.
Yeah, no. It's got, pump house that sucker at, what was it, 500, right?
505.
Yeah, right in the heart, right in the heart. She spun around 3 or 4 times and tipped over. It was great. I saw the, you're like, you missed? I'm like, now the blood's pumping out. I can see it, so.
that was a great hunt, man. That was, and people that are listening, I mean, if you don't know this hunt, he's like, I have an antelope tag coming down, Scott. I'm like, all right. And he showed up, I don't know, let's say 5 o'clock. At 5:45, we came back to the shop with 2 antelope, and he's like, I never would have thought that ever in my life. No way, no how. And then that's when I introduced you to that's when I introduced you to the water fire extinguisher to help clean up.
Oh, that was awesome. Man.
Yeah,
that was a freaking fun hunt, and we had good times. And then the next day, we went out and just crushed prairie dogs too. That was freaking
so many
great.
prairie dogs.
Yeah, I'm like, where are we sitting? You're like, nowhere, just stay in the truck. Okay, I'll wheel you around, man. Just lean over the mirror.
Yep.
So, so if you get into like a heavier deer, like you want a deer hunting around, Federal Power Shock 64 grainers. I mean, you're going over 3,000. Of course, that's in the 24-inch barrel, but even under that 64 grain is going to be a hammer on deer. So it's all kind of barrel life. I mean, that's another big positive with not only just a 223 but a 308. I mean, on the low end, if you beat the living shit out of your barrel, you're going to get 10,000 rounds. If you shoot a lot and you don't heat that barrel up, like way overheated, you're going to go to 20. My Stag has a lifetime guarantee on the barrel. You know what the military's requirement is, Scott, for MOA?
No,
which would be unacceptable to me. At 100 yards, 5 inches. That's
5
ridiculous.
inches?
That's ridiculous, in my opinion.
You know what that reminds me of? You remember in 2011 or 2010 when there was too many cow elk in the Badlands?
Yeah.
And in order to get on, they wanted to bring sharpshooters, and then they said, okay, there was a fight against that, and they're like, okay, we're using local people, and the only requirement is you had to hit a paper plate at 100 yards.
10-inch
paper plate at 100 yards. If you hit it, you were in on the hunt.
Yeah. I'm like, damn, I'm going to be able to hit that with a spear,
That's
man.
Unacceptable.
10. Well, that's the old thing, paper plate, right?
Yeah.
Get the paper plate. All right, we're going to do one more ad for just going to be a single.
Get it done. They're the ones making this happen, my friend.
Yeah, right on. All right, here we go.
And I need to get rid of this 3-dog junk.
Yeah, you do. I'll tell you what, when I come back, I got a few things from shot. Remember I said I'm going to give you some great news about that Burris Eliminator. So
I'm going to look it up.
Yeah, Eliminator 4. Look it up right now.
Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Right on, Scott. And I'll tell you what, if you're out there listening or you catch it on the podcast and you think the 223 is a poodle shooting piss ant, here, I got something for you.
Nasty person.
Right on, Fred. Hey, Scott. So going by the ammo ranks, remember when I told you the 223 is a number one center fire? Can you guess what number two is? This is 2022 data.
2022, second best caliber.
Yep,
Most
second
popular
best
caliber.
rifle center fire. Number two behind 223.
I'm going to say 243.
Nope, 6.5 Creedmoor.
Is that right?
Yep, 6.5.
Right?
I'll run through the top 12 here for you.
Do that. This is curious because everybody made fun of me for being a 6'5" guy before 6'5s are cool,
including me
and including you. Here's the thing: I don't care what you shoot. I'm not one of those racist caliber guys,
right?
Like some people are. I really don't care, but I really like the round. So give me what's number 12.
All right. So
and I'm going to see if I have them in my gun safe.
Number 12 shocked me actually. I didn't even know 7M08. Number 12.
Yeah, got one of those.
So let's go back up here to number 4. You will never guess number 4. I would have never guessed this either. And I don't understand the fascination with this thing, but whatever. I've shot them. Does nothing for me. 300 Blackout, number 4.
I don't have one of those.
Number 5. This is almost probably, all right, 450 Bushmaster. I know one guy who owns it, but you know what, Scott? To be fair, we live up where it's flat and we like longer distance. So number 6, here we go. Everybody knows this one, the old 30-06.
I got one of those 30-06.
Coming in at number 7, your father-in-law's favorite.
300, baby.
300, yeah. Number 7, 300 Win Mag. 8, which I'm surprised this jumped up here. I have shot them and they are badass.
270
PRC. Nope.
PRC.
Okay. All right, I'll give you here.
So
okay,
let me ask you this: what's the difference between the Creedmoor and the PRC?
PRC's got a bigger case.
Do they?
Same bullet, bigger case, so you're getting more velocity. You know,
I haven't jumped into the PRC side yet.
And I'll tell you what, recoil for that big. I saw that case and I was like, God, it looks like a kitten new. Think like a kitten and just money. My dad's neighbor Tanner Dolbeck, his dad had his out there, and I mean at 800 yards, we were just pounding the gong with that thing.
Have you heard anybody with the 6.5 300?
No.
Okay,
I mean, I know of it, but I don't know anybody who has that. That thing's got to be everybody's going to like the 6.5 or the 22 Creed now, right?
22 Creed, 26 Creed, 28. I have a 28 Nosler, yeah.
And I'm not against none of that stuff, but that stuff's so oddball. I mean, the
so
22 Creed might start. Yeah, they are just ultra flat. So, all right, Scott, let's go. Number 9, coming in at number 9 behind the 6.5 PRC. You do know this one, but give me your guess. Number 9.
Number 9, 270.
Drei, you know German? 308. 308.
My folks spoke German when they didn't want us to know what they were saying about us.
308, number 9, still hanging in there in the top 10. So number 10, you know this one. And in my opinion, if I had a good shoulder, this would be my number 1 hunting cartridge probably.
Number 1 with a good shoulder, 338 Lapua.
7mm Remington Magnum.
Oh, okay.
Still badass. And 11, you definitely know this one. Your Savage guys were shooting the hell out of prairie dogs with this
22 250s.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And just in case anybody's wondering, they say rifle cartridge, but number 2 is 223 center fire. Number 1, 22 long rifle by.
Really?
Yeah. And I'm going to just transition right into the 22, Scott. You like shooting 22s?
I used to until I found out what a 17 HMR was.
Okay, so this blew my mind. I just saw this like 2 weeks ago. So you don't generally associate the 22 with long range stuff, right? Norma Ammo is coming out with something called the Extreme Long Rifle 22 load. They're promising this thing is accurate, not to 500, Scott, but beyond that. And they got it. It's the lead bullet, which is weird to me, just a lead bullet, right? And they got a couple things they did to it. One of them, they call it this rocket tail. It just looks like, you ever throw them football things? It looks like a...
No. I know what you're talking about. I haven't thrown it.
Yeah, they look like a mortar round. That's what this thing kind of looks like to me. But yeah, they got that. 43 grainer. Velocity is listed 1165. 50 rounds they're saying $25. But if it's a 22 and the sucker can shoot 500 yards accurately, I'm down with shooting that thing.
What's the impact though? I mean, what's the?
Yeah, I'm not saying for kill and stuff, but for target, I didn't get too. I don't think they even had the ballistics put up there because they just came out with this right before SHOT Show. But they're saying for shooting 500 plus yards, consistent speed and grouping. So
So I got a guy that you need to get on your show here.
Okay.
His name is Sean Burns out of Scranton, North Dakota. When I had Keith Warren up here for doing a executive retreat with Savage Company and the whole works, I brought him up and he did a demonstration with his 22 long rifle at 800 yards.
Damn.
And we put a target out there, and by golly, he was ringing that thing. And he was the national 22 champion of some competition he was in. And the rifle that he put together, and I don't know what ammo he was using, but that's a guy. There's some pretty impressive people here in the Dakota Territory that have done some pretty amazing things, besides just military too. But
right,
and him and his dad, man, they are just those are the guys that you want to talk ammo with, man. They know that stuff.
Imagine what this guy could do if this ammo was for real. Imagine what he can do with that.
Yeah, it's not like you're reloading 22 long rifle.
Yeah, I actually know a guy who does it. I'm like, you
really?
Never get me to reload that shit. Yeah. He lives in Gene Cox knows him. He lives down over. So let's get to a few comments here, and then I'm gonna. Did you check up on that Burris? I'm telling you.
No, I didn't because I was still looking.
All right, well, hang on. I'll get you
somebody
going
from
here.
South Dakota is messaging me, and he says the bar's open, and he's listening to us, and he posted this picture right here. And I tried to send him a picture of my Hams beer, and it won't go through because I don't know.
Well, if you're listening to South Dakota in a bar, man, I appreciate you. I tell you what, if you're ever in Bismarck, I got a free hat for you, a can koozie. Speaking of drinks, Michael Deacons says he thinks we got better beverages than Clay and Vance in him.
Well, we're
of course.
I don't know about that. Yeah, that Mitchell area's got some entertainment.
Well, he's saying just drinks. Our drinks on air are a lot better than theirs.
What do they have on there?
I don't know. Clay's got some Alabama moonshine, and
I thought you were talking like black
Vance
leaf
probably drinks
tea
water,
or something.
and Deacons. He's an old Marine. I'm not sure what them guys. Them guys will drink anything, right? The old devil dogs.
Well,
but
if you
Josh
dare
Patterson,
them to.
Josh Patterson says he loves a 7mm08. Gene Cox is a 6.5 by 300 at 264 Win Mag. Way more powder. It's like a 300. It's a 300 Win Mag case neck down to a 6.5.
So you can find the 6.5 300 rifles, but you can't find ammo. You know, it's a unicorn ammo is what it is.
The reason for that is, Scott, I've called like Sierra and Hornady and talked to they're going, contrary to popular belief, there still is like ammo you can't find. They're going only with, they do a extremely small amount of stuff like that, but they're going with like your 308, your 6.5 Creeds, your 223
the stuff that's popular, the stuff that people are buying.
Right. Yeah. They're like, hey man, they got the war and the materials for that. They're two wars, and everybody's buying it up here because the meat puppet and his regime want to ban every damn thing that has a freaking firing pin and a primer. So we got to deal with that. But that's why.
Oh, and cow farts. Don't forget about that.
Yeah. Cows farting. You got to ban that, right? All right. Hornady commercialized a 222 Creed. Good. Man, I think that's actually going to take off because I know a lot of people that are getting like rifles built for them, and the ballistics are just freaking out of the world on that.
You want to have a story about a 22 Creed?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Baker, another guy you need to get on your show. Jake Wagner.
Yeah. I met Jake at the gun store.
So anyway, he has this one rifle table last year, 2022, not 2020, 2 years ago now. And we're doing this thing, and this little 6-year-old girl goes up to her dad and says, "Dad, I want that rifle." And it's 22 Creed. And he says, "Well, what are the tickets?" He said, $50 a ticket. But it's a limited draw tickets, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she said, "But that's the one I want." So he gave her $50, got one ticket. She won the damn rifle that night.
That's awesome, man.
That was perfect.
I actually think I remember you guys talking about that. I was sitting on my buddy's cartel boat down in Tampa Bay listening to you guys. Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, that is an awesome
I think
story.
they call those cigarette boats down there.
So no, this is a big a cartel boat, man. It was awesome, man. Thanks, Brad. You're freaking awesome, brother. But speaking of raffles, Scott, Clay and I and Deacons of the Guns in the 701 crew, 701Nation, guess what? We're doing a raffle, flamethrower, baby. We're doing a flamethrower raffle.
You should do a demonstration of using it on net wrap.
Clay damn near lit my hair on fire with it today trying to demonstrate it for me. But it's pretty cool, man. You can either go right under, it attaches to your rail on your. A lot of people say, I got rails on my bolt guns because I like having lights on them. Do that, or you can take it off and use it just hand without a gun and just hands free. It's freaking awesome. They're gonna be $20. Get hold of me, Clay, Deacons, and they're gonna be all over the place. So I'm definitely gonna have you buy one of those from us, guy, because I think you can use a flamethrower down there. Can you?
Hell yeah, I could use it every damn day.
Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna get through these comments.
So we burn our own garbage out here. We don't have garbage pickup, so we need that.
I mean, what's funner, a freaking match or a flamethrower? Come on, this isn't easy, right? Yeah. So 270. I'm not sure what Clay said there. 264 wick. I'm not know what the
they're still talking about the 6.5 by 300.
Oh, I think. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. I think Clay might have hit a K instead of an N there, but Gene, yeah, he was ahead of its time. Deacons, anything? Okay, Scott. I know I let.
No, Deacons says he'll drink anything because he's
awesome.
Yeah,
Deacons, you come up here for 2A day. We're gonna get it on, man. It's gonna be a good.
Have you ever met Mike Deacons?
No, I've never met him in person.
Well, you are. I don't know if you're man enough to know this guy.
Maybe not. He seems he's pretty alpha.
He's got a reputation. There's a reason that he lives in Mitchell, South Dakota, and not in Minneapolis. There's a reason.
Perfect. Sounds like I'm gonna get along with him. Good. So
and whatever you do, don't wear a tweed jacket near him either. He'll make fun of you the entire night. I don't even know what tweed is,
Scott.
I know, but there's a guy in Lemon, South Dakota that did, and I think Mike Deacons gave him so much. I think he finally threw it in the garbage by the end of the night. It was
perfect.
Great.
Tweed
Great.
Sounds like something leftist is going to wear, but all right. So maybe not. Like I said, I don't know what tweed is.
Picked up some pretty good looking girls with it. So
okay. I'm married.
Proof is in the pudding.
So I know Scott's a big burst eliminator, man, and I used his and I've shot a couple. They are. What do we got here?
Oh, they're talking about the tweed jacket now, so they know what I'm talking about. Between Clay and Mike Deacons, they know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, they're getting after it. So, yeah, I'll get the Burris Eliminator. I saw it come up because I follow Burris.
Come on, give me a new one for me.
Yep, you're gonna love this, man, because I think I'm finally gonna break it. Because my main thing was they were bulky. This thing looks like a regular rifle scope, Scott, with like a 30 millimeter tube. Same drops, rangefinder on the side, looks like a normal scope, and just on like the top quarter, all your stuff, your temperatures on there, your elevation. It's like a freaking like a high dollar rangefinder in the top of this thing. Doesn't interfere with your chevron tree in there. Same mount, but it's a normal size scope, not that big thing. It's freaking looked awesome. It looked awesome. I don't know what the price is. I mean,
is it the 4?
Yeah, it's a brand new one. Okay. Maybe I said 4. Maybe
I don't know. I haven't looked at them for a while, but I need a new one.
It looks just like a regular rifle scope. That's as I seen it, and I'm like, "There's no way that's an eliminator." And I got into it a little more and looked, and I'm like, "Hell yeah, it is! That's freaking awesome."
According to the web, Burris Eliminator has a 5 now too.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I'm behind. But yeah, that thing looks freaking awesome, and it's more compact, and I'd be way in on that thing. So. Yeah. Hey, Burris, if you're listening,
don't be a product. Don't be a product whore now. Come on, Jamie.
I might be for that thing because I was watching that going, yes.
Oh,
well,
man.
I mean, so really, Scott,
People called me a cheater. And I was one of the first ones to use one of these things in my area, and I was just looked down upon with not only the 6.5 because that's a terrible round, but the burst eliminator because I'm a cheater. And I'm telling you right now, it is absolutely a great scope. If there's a lot of stuff happening in the scope, but if you can get past that, it's a great scope.
Yeah, and man, I shot yours and Jesse's, and my buddy Travis actually got one on Ruger Predator 223. Freaking money! That is money, man. And this thing is small. So what's the difference, Scott? It's like if nobody gave you shit who did that I had like target turrets on their scope, did they? Because what's the difference? You got your freaking. You can either pull it up on.
Oh no, they're taking their hand rangefinder and they're doing this.
Yeah,
and then they're dialing and they look at their dope chart and they're doing this. And I'm like, I'm doing all of that without losing the coyote in my vision.
Right, but if it's cheating, then they're just looking up how to zero in what they need anyways. Then, right? So what's it? Well, it's not as fast. Okay, so what?
Here's the problem: is everybody's so against everything that we do, hunting wise or shooting wise. It doesn't matter. Just freaking have fun that you have guns and you were able to do this.
Man, that burst eliminator is awesome. Jesse brought his out. Him and God, who did he come out hunting with? Coyotes once. They didn't get any, but I shot his. I think it was his 243, a big long-barreled sucker. But at 600 yards, that thing was right on the nuts. That was freaking awesome.
Yeah,
it was awesome. So I got that burst. It's just you get a more ethical shot with it, and it even works.
They did offer me a sponsorship one time, and I turned them down.
I'm waiting for that day I can do that.
Because they only wanted me to use burst eliminator. And I'm not that kind of guy.
I mean, what do you do on something that you don't want to scope on?
Exactly. And that's the thing is they wouldn't let me do any shows or any pictures unless you had that on it. And I was like, wow, that's not me. Because I'll let you know if it works or it doesn't. So.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah, for sure. And then you definitely, I mean, it always looked kind of flunky to me, but once I used your Creed out there and I just picked out that little rock, and after we shooting prairie dogs, I'm like, yeah, smoke that sucker. I mean, that's dead about anything at 6 Hondo. And
no, I love it.
So Clay said, hey, Jamie, remember, treat a flamethrower just like a gun. It's always loaded, right? That sucker was loaded. Yeah, Clay loves his bird. He's got it on his Ruger Precision. So speaking of that Ruger Precision, friend of mine actually 223 guns. They make that RPR 223. Absolute freaking money.
It's a great. It's a very nice, very comfortable rifle to shoot.
Oh, everything I've shot in that, the Creed and that's the two I've shot in that. They were, I mean, at 600 yards, my brother-in-law had one, and I'm talking like the top of a beer can. We were stacking rounds at 600 and.
So I want a video of you taking a old-fashioned, they make Coors Heavy right now in the little pony bottles.
I didn't know that. Okay.
So they do. They're like the little pony bottles.
Yeah.
I want you to grab a 6-pack of those instead of ballistic gel.
Okay.
I want you to set up your camera, and I want you to just spin it so the top spins off of that thing.
You shoot the top at what range?
I don't care. I just want to see it in slow motion and then drink the beer with no glass in it.
Okay.
That's what I want to do. I'm guessing, I'm just saying VMAX is probably the way to go. But
all right. I'm going to check out because I'm heading up Saturday. I'm going to go to the liquor store tomorrow and find these things.
Bring some over to Schrieffer's because we'll be done by that time.
Yeah. When are you going back Saturday?
I have a coyote tournament I got to come back and sell some whiskey bottles for some charity events for. So as soon as it's done, I'll probably be heading back.
So what time does it typically get over, you think?
Oh, we'll be done by Central Time, probably 4 o'clock.
Oh, shit, I'll be up there because I got to get up there. Like I said, I'm going to talk to my cousin about shooting prairie dogs on that night. I've never been on a night hunt, but
you're going to like it.
Tanner invited me to go out, and I'm going to take him up on it. So
the thermal imaging is making leaps and bounds. I'm 4 years old into it. I want to upgrade because it's so impressive.
He sent me some video of his stuff, and I mean it's all. I'm shocked at long range how clear the images are. So
prairie dogs are out at night, by the way.
Are they?
Not a lot of them, but some of them do come out at night.
Well, that sounds awesome there. Yeah. I'd shoot a prairie dog anytime, man.
And that's where you want to go if you have a prairie dog town and you want to do night vision or thermal on coyotes. Go out during the day and
kill them. And they come in eating.
Shoot a pile of them, and then just sit there and wait in your
Sweet.
pickup.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Well, thanks for having me on the program. See, they know about the tweed jacket.
Yeah, they do. Absolutely. Thank you for coming on, Scott, man. We went longer than I wanted to, but we had a great conversation going, man. It's always fun talking to you. Yeah. I love it. What do you got? You losing your audio there? Just hang in there. I'm gonna. There you go.
I got one in each ear. I got the tinnitus ear where it's always ringing.
I got two ears.
Yeah,
one for each of you.
So the movie Tombstone was the original gun control. You know that?
Oh yeah. Hey, nobody's saying you can't have guns. You just can't have one in town. Yeah,
that's right.
For sure. Hey, Waylon Turner, thanks, man. Appreciate you. You too, Josh. Thanks, man. Love you guys tuning in every week. Appreciate your support.
Waylon, I'll see Waylon at the Mule Deer Banquet in Mandan coming up in February.
Hey, Waylon, I'm gonna swing over there. You can buy yourself some flamethrower tickets, man.
Do that.
Yeah, because he didn't get that 30-06 hunting AR from Clayton there, but he was the rock star selling tickets. Waylon Turner can sell some freaking tickets.
So Waylon was the first one to win a gun from my Dakota Prairie Outdoors before they shut me down, and the Attorney General shut me down doing that.
So. Really? Well, ours is coming out. Northwest Shooters in South Dakota is doing ours, so we don't have to worry about.
Yeah. Hands off. It's all about Mike Deacons.
Yep. Yeah. Wash him.
Here's his social security number. You can have this too.
Hey, Brian, thanks. Looking forward to. I'll be talking to you before we do the meat show there in 2 weeks from tomorrow. Gene Cox, Scott's last show, possibly the best after show that didn't happen. Waylon, sounds good. All right, buddy. So just do a little PR here tomorrow. It's already Friday. Yeah, I'm used to doing this Wednesday, but tomorrow, Friday morning, 8:15 a.m. Central, 7:15 Mountain. Guns and the 701 is going to be on with Mitchell in the morning, KFYR 550. Not only on that, 99.7 FM. And if you don't want to do that, you got it on iHeart Radio. You can get on 550 AM on there. And if you don't want to do that, guess what? Clay multicasts the radio show on all of Guns and the 701 social media platforms, so you can do that as well. And then every Wednesday night, you can catch Clay and Deacons doing Guns and the 701's live stream on there. I'm on every other week. I don't have a set day yet. One of the reasons that I was going to back out and quit is because it was just getting to be too much doing that on Fridays and all the videos. But you know what? This is working good. And if people keep tuning in, Scott, I said I was going to give it a run here in the first 3 months. And if people keep tuning in and liking it, I'm going to keep doing it. So
there you go.
And so Vance, I'm sorry, I forgot Vance Bishop's on every Wednesday too from down in Georgia there. I apologize for that. But yeah, it's Vance and Mike Deacons and Clayton doing that. It's kind of more Wednesday nights. I think them guys are kind of more into the, not that I'm not in the Second Amendment issues. Obviously, if you heard me for the last year and a half on there, I am. But I think them guys kind of cover the political issues and Second Amendment. And I think Fridays are kind of like that. They kind of started, I think, last week and last 2 weeks, they kind of did the happy endings too on there. I like that. I kind of
what now?
Yeah.
What now?
Not with Todd. No,
you're going to Thailand with this show, or what's going on here?
A happy ending, if nobody knows, happy endings when a person uses a gun to defend their life or other people. So
way different than what I thought you were going for here, buddy.
Yeah, it's a Second Amendment happy ending, man. You know.
Okay, that makes a little bit more sense.
Oh,
I got a joke about that, I can tell you.
I'll tell you what, we get off here, you give me the joke here. Anyway, so everybody, thanks for tuning in, hanging with us. We're going to click out here, Scott, and it was great talking to you. Appreciate you coming on, man, anytime.
I appreciate you being a friend of mine here for many, many years and cross-referencing our shows all the time, and it's what we do. We may not see eye to eye, but at least we can sit down and have a conversation all the time.
Yeah, I'm still looking for that thing we don't see eye to eye on, though.
That's true. Well, I'll send you some photos.
All right, buddy, hang in there. We'll talk after the show here. Just hang on. All right, everybody, thanks again. Appreciate you tuning in. JD 701 Nation. We'll see you guys in 2